I'm doing this for myself, and getting back into the gym every day, twice a day, watching the nutrition. You know, I'm a healthy guy. I look after myself. Ever since I retired from competitive boxing, you wouldn't be able to tell that I wasn't still actively boxing, as health and fitness and well-being is a big part of my life. So when this challenge was put to me by Joe, I felt ready. I felt good. I lost my last 2 competitive boxing matches against Tony Bellew. My penultimate fight was, definitely hindered by a snapped Achilles tendon. I had to recover that before the rematch, and before that rematch, I snapped my left bicep, came off the bone, so I had to recover that before the fight. And then obviously when I'm in there taking the punches from the WBC cruiserweight champion, it felt as though my time was over. It felt like my time was gone, and I announced my retirement not long after that final bout of mine. But that was 3 years ago, and I've stayed away from the boxing elements of training. I'm in a gym, I do weight training, I do sprints, I do all the training except the punching side. And because I know my personality, I know once the juices start flowing, I start going. And this opportunity, strangely, has really got the juices flowing. I feel physically, very, very young. Going into my last 2 bouts against Tony Bellew, I feel I am in physically better condition. My Achilles is healed, my biceps healed. I can do the things in training I was avoiding doing back then. So unfortunately for Joe, I know he's banking on my body failing, but he's picked me at the wrong time. He should have picked me, a couple of months after my last defeat. It had a much better chance back then.
Nuances that you pick up being a legend like David, yes, I don't have those, and I'm not going to get them in 3 weeks. I just preparing a game plan, which means that I'm not even going to be having that conversation with him, because if I get into that with him, I'm going to lose. I'm going to go away from David's strengths and go to my strengths. I'm going to let David try and do his game plan. I'm going to do mine. And I'm going to stick to it. Because remember, I was a basketball player. We ran plays. This is exactly what I'm going to do in this fight. I have a specific play and I have a specific game plan. And if I stick to that game plan, I'm 100% confident I'm going to win this fight. If I veer away and get into 50-50s with David Haye, mixing it up in the middle of the ring in the first 45 seconds, it's going to be you might hurt the moneymaker, as they say in England.
Everyone's got a game plan till they get punched in the face. Remember that one. As of right now, I can't think of fighting one of these guys. All I'm thinking about is getting through the remaining 3 weeks of training in a healthy condition, in one piece. Not getting injured. As a lot of the injuries I've received over the years have happened in preparation for a fight. There's only a couple of fights I've been injured in the fight. So for me, it's the challenge of this whole event is to get to the ring in one piece. And Joe jokes about being RoboCop and having pins and stuff, and being held together. But I understand why that is, because it is a tongue in cheek, but it's a bit of reality there that I can't train the same way as I did do when I was 30. I can't have, 6 sparring partners doing 2 rounds in, 2 rounds in, 2 rounds in continuously. Those days are over. I've got to be a lot more conservative and economical with my energy. I've got to make sure my massage is on point. I've got to make sure my physiotherapist, my chiropractor, I've got to make sure my blood works neat and tidy. I've got to make sure my new hydration levels are optimal, my sleep patterns are optimal. There's so much that goes into making sure I get through the ropes on September 11th in one piece, healthy, ready to perform. I can't 1 second think a day past that, because if I do start thinking about some of these super duper names you mentioned, those 4 names are the big boys in the division. If I start thinking about them and take my eye off Joe Fournier, can you imagine the humiliation if I end up, even looking bad there? That's a let alone, I can't afford that to be remotely an option. I need to give Joe Fournier a boxing education. I need to pack his lunchbox and take him to boxing school on September 11th, because anything other than that, I'd be very, very upset.